please, you should leave me alone. I don't owe anybody money. Generator can pack up, and honestly, it's not nice. Well, you will come here and you will be lonely. Yeah, so you're looking for a customer service job, cost about $1,000 something. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing my face, hi, my name is Amina and I appreciate you stopping by. I would love it if you stuck around, hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, welcome back. Please don't forget to hit that bell notification button so you know when I post a video. Guys, as you can tell from this video is long overdue. Honestly, I should have filmed this a long time ago, but life has just been lifing. Like, things have been happening. Well, actually nothing has been happening. Let me not lie, actually nothing has been happening. I've just procrastinated a little bit, but I am going to be filming my 1 year recap of moving, relocating to Canada, living in Canada, how it's been, what my expectations were, and what the reality is. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Starting off by saying that honestly, relocation is such a big thing now. I feel like not just in Nigeria, all over the world, people are relocating left, right, and center. And I will prefix this by saying that everybody's relocation story is different. Everybody's relocation reason is different. Everybody's relocation process is different. So I feel like before deciding to relocate, you need to really understand why are you relocating and what exactly you're trying to achieve, what process might be the best for you. Because I love sharing information, and in my entire Canada journey, I've always shared every single process I've gone through, but I still get emails, DMs, messages from people asking me about pathways that I personally did not go through, for example being a student or just something else, and I did not go through that path, so there's only so much information I can give you. If you ask me about the pathways I followed now, yes, I will be more than happy to share that information for you. So basically what I'm trying to say is make sure you do your research and understand why exactly you want to move. When you understand why you want to move, you can then do your research and find out what pathways are available for you, what your current situation is, and what your goal is. So I'm going to be talking about these videos in different categories. As you all know, I moved to Canada in 2020. Well, if you don't know, I moved to Canada in 2022 towards the end of the year. I would say October, and one of the main reasons I moved to Canada was honestly for quality of life. Not to say that my life in Nigeria was bad. Honestly, I was blessed in Nigeria. I had a good life, I was comfortable, but it just was not what I wanted. The little things used to bother me, things like not having constant lights, not having good roads, like just little things like that. And that was why I just felt like I wasn't meant to be in Nigeria, and that was why I moved. So let's talk about expectations and reality. In terms of my quality of life, I would definitely say my quality of life is way better living in Canada, because little things like being able to just easily go on a walk was not something that was that realistic for me back in Nigeria, because you have to either deal with, and don't get me wrong, there's security issues everywhere, you have to be careful, but like it's just easier for me to do certain things like working out and all of that here in Canada. And then obviously having constant light. I know here that once I pay my light bill, I have light. I'm not going to be worried about if my light is going to go off or not. But in Nigeria, you can pay your NEPA bill, you can put fuel in your generator can pack up, and all those little things is so annoying. Even if you have solar, if there's no light, if it just comes with so much like stress. And not to say that if you're still living in Nigeria like you are living bad or anything like that, but for me it just was not what I wanted for my life. So moving here definitely has improved the quality of life I live. The next category I would talk about would be social life. Honestly, before moving, a lot of people spoke about, oh my god, depression, seasonal depression, you're going to be lonely. I just never thought that would be me, because even in Nigeria, I don't have friends. I'm not saying that as a good thing. It's not really a good thing, honestly, because I don't know how to make friends. That's just it. I'm very friendly. If you meet me outside, I'm like bubbly, I would interact with you, but once we separate, that's about it. I am in my house, and I grew up in a very close-knit family. I have 3 sisters. We grew up very, very, very close, so like they are my friends, and I've always had this mindset of they're just always going to be around, so I didn't need to push myself out there to make friends. But coming to Canada, honestly, it's been hard in terms of my social life. I don't do anything. I don't know anybody. I had just one friend when I came to Canada, and she ended up moving to a completely different city. So did I have periods of time whereby I was just like lonely in my house? Yes. And when I moved, I was working from home. It honestly is not nice. I'm not going to lie to you. When I see people that move and they have family or they have friends, like I honestly envy them, and I'm low-key jealous of them, honestly, because it's not, even if you are a homebody, I am a homebody. I love being in my house. I love interacting with myself and talking to my family on the phone, but I felt it, and it's not the nicest thing. And people would say, oh, you need to make friends, you need to make friends, but it's so hard. Like, especially in my case where I was working at home, I didn't have an office that I was going to that would probably make me meet people, or I wasn't a student where I got to meet different types of people. I was just on my own. If I went out, I was going to either the grocery store or I was going to the gym, and that was basically it. I did used to go to cafes here and there, but it's not easy to make friends, honestly. I'm trying this 2024. I told myself that I was going to try and put in a bit more effort. I don't know how it's going, but yeah, we're trying. So in terms of my social life, it definitely took a downturn, like when I moved to Canada. And if you're somebody that you know that you need to have a social life, I would say you should be very, very, very intentional when moving to Canada, because well, you will come here and you will be lonely. Next, which I feel like is the most major thing in moving, is career aspirations. That was one of my major reasons for moving here, because I felt like I would have way more opportunities, and yeah, I would just have way more opportunities to like build my career and get to where I want to get to in life. That was my expectation. My expectation was I would come here, I would just kind of like be a couple of months, I would get like this banging UX design job, and I'll just be working from home, just like my expectation is definitely not my reality. I moved here and it was interesting. One thing I would say is, honestly, if you can start your job application process long before you move, I would definitely advise that, because there are different services available for permanent residents to kind of help them figure out their career when they come here, which they're all good services, but I feel like they kind of put you in a box. Because when I would go to meet them, or when I came and I went to meet them, and I was they would ask you questions like, oh, what are your career prospects, what have you done, or what are you looking at, and you would tell them, oh, I'm this, I have this skill, and they'll say, yeah, so you're looking for a customer service job? And I'm like, no, I'm looking for this type of job. They will be like, okay, yeah, we're here to help you, so yeah, customer service job. And I feel like they just put you as an international or as a permanent resident in this box of you have to start from customer service job. And don't get me wrong, like I had a customer service job. I had 2 customer service jobs. One was like the basic customer service job, was terrible, it was hard work. One was like a good decent company, good pay, everything was really, really good. I really enjoyed working there, well, before they laid me off. So it depends on what it is, but if that's not the career path you're looking for, honestly, I would say start your career search, job search journey before you come. And one thing I would say is have an open mind. Honestly, you might come here, and there are people that come here and just like soaring high from beginning, and you can come here and you have to start from scratch. I feel like that's fine. For me, I came with the mindset of I was going to come and start from scratch, because I didn't know anybody back in Nigeria. I didn't really have like a solid career that I had started working on, so I was very much open to coming here and starting from scratch and just building my way upwards, which we are currently still in the process of doing that, but inshallah, by the grace of God, we're all going to get there. But I feel like just make sure you have an open mind and have realistic expectations and actually plan before moving. That is for career. The next thing I would say is finances. For me, I would definitely say my finances got better moving to Canada, and with the way the system works here, you are basically kind of pushed to understand your finances, understand everything about like taxes. And this is me 1 year and I think 4 or 5 months into living here, and I'm still struggling. Maybe not struggling, but I'm still like trying to understand every single aspect of my finances and understanding taxes and all of that. But I would definitely say that back in Nigeria, I was very frivolous with money. Is it frivolous? I think that's the word. I think. But I was very like spend. I didn't really have the concept of the value of money. I saved money, yes, but I would just spend. And then again, I had the comfort of my parents, where I just knew that if all else fails, it wasn't the best way to look at it, but I just had that mindset of if all else fails, mommy and daddy are there, they will take care of me, which is terrible, but I had that mindset. So moving here and having to be like responsible for your bills and be an adult, it has definitely made my financial journey like way better, like saving, investing, all those things. It made me like more knowledgeable. And what I would say is things here are very different. So once you move to Canada, I feel like you have to be intentional about learning about finances, learning about taxes, learning about interest and all those things. Credit card, guys, is a lot. It's honestly a lot. The different types of accounts you need to open, and what I would say is start learning them as soon as possible, so that when you get here, you actually can equip yourself with the right information or the right people and all those things. But I would definitely say that my finances got better moving here. Like, I know people say, oh, it's expensive, cost of living is high. Yes, cost of living is high, but as long as you have an income and you're actually like intentional with your finances, you're not living above your means, I feel like you'll be fine. Also, with regards to finances, another thing that is very important is your credit history. And I'm sure obviously if you lived in the US, or I'm sure they have this in like most developed countries, I guess, but basically your credit history. And honestly, as a Nigerian, for me coming here, I just thought that having a credit card was such a I don't want to owe anybody money. I just had that mentality of I don't want to owe anybody money, please you should leave me alone, I don't want to owe anybody money. But you need to have credit history, so you have to have a credit card, but you have to be very careful not to use money that you don't have. So what I always do is I make sure that I am using my credit card, I am paying it off before the end of every month, and just make sure that I never ever use money that I do not have in my bank account. The next thing I would say is probably healthcare. Honestly, living in Canada, I haven't really experienced the healthcare system here, because I've just been very anxious about going to the hospital or going to a clinic. Living in Nigeria, you know that if you just walk into any clinic, you can have access to healthcare, either public or private if you have your money. So I've never really had like issues with healthcare in Nigeria. I just knew that I go into the hospital, see the doctor, or if I go into a lab, do what I need to do, pay and leave. But here the healthcare system is so different. You need to have like your GP, a family doctor, you need to have all of that, and you can't just walk into a clinic and say I want this. For example, when I moved to Canada, I was struggling with constipation really bad and I needed to go to the hospital, but I just didn't go. I've heard so many negative things in terms of the healthcare system here. I just didn't go, honestly. So what I would say is if you're coming here, I would say do all your requirements. If you have like oh yes, I forgot to mention, if you have any dental issues, guys, get it fixed in Nigeria before you move, or whatever country you're coming from. Get it fixed before moving to Canada, because let me tell you, in as much as they say healthcare is free here, dental is not covered. And as someone that struggles with, I have a lot of dental issues. I got some fixed in Nigeria, but I came here and I still have a bunch to do. While I was working, I had dental insurance, so I was basically paying maybe like $10 and my company was paying the rest. So I had insurance that would cover my dental procedures. But even with the insurance, there's only an amount of money you can spend depending on your insurance. Some would say maybe $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. That's what you can spend that year. And let me tell you, the first dental appointment I had, guys, it cost me about $500. Obviously, I didn't pay, my insurance covered it, but I literally just went for like x-rays and my initial consultation just for them to see where I have issues for them to fix. Imagine having to pay that from pocket. And then the next time I went for a refill that cost about $1,000 something. Imagine if you had to do that from your pocket. So honestly, healthcare is free. It's difficult to access. Dental is not free. I believe vision is also not free. So I would say make sure you get every single thing sorted out before you move here. And another thing again that kind of shocked me, guys, Canada is actually behind technology wise. I know, like coming from Nigeria, I did not think that I would move here and think, oh, there are certain things in Nigeria that are actually way more advanced. than in Canada here. So I think that's something you should kind of like just, it's not something that's going to dramatically affect your way of life, of course not, but it was just something that shocked me, and I was like, interesting, why is the banking like this, why is this like that, why is this like that? It's just very different. I feel like, I always say this to my friends, Canada is the third world country of the developed countries. That's how I feel, and this is me comparing it to living in the UK, like day and night, honestly, like day and night in terms of like advancement in certain areas. Speaking of technology, almost everything here is like, you need to speak to someone, you have to have an appointment, which I think is low-key ridiculous, because there are certain things that you can, maybe in Europe or in the UK, you can call someone on the phone, have it fixed, but here in Canada, you have to like go into the place. Not only do you have to go into the place, you have to book an appointment to go into the place. So it kind of makes getting things done difficult sometimes, but again, it's nothing like dramatic that would affect your quality of life. But then it's something I noticed, especially having lived in Nigeria and the UK and then living here. I feel like it's something that you would definitely notice. And then one of the last things I will talk about is probably going to be food. The food quality here is interesting. That's what I would say, honestly. I feel like a lot of their foods, correct me if I'm wrong, is pumped with a lot of things. So even like my friend used to say the banana, she doesn't like eating bananas here because they don't taste like bananas. Cucumbers is very watery when you try them. What else again? There are apples, like a lot of things are just very much inorganic. It's very much like, this tastes like it was manufactured in a container in a laboratory. You know what I'm trying to say? But obviously they have the organic version, but then that just costs way more than the regular fruits or the regular food items. And why? But that's one thing to keep in mind. So if you're somebody that probably would have a lot of like dietary issues, it might cost you a lot more money to eat food, because you want to be buying organic options as opposed to the regular options, which I don't know why the regular options need to be inorganic. But I think that's something you should definitely like have in mind if you're moving here. All in all, I feel like everybody's journey is always different. What would work for one person might not necessarily work for the next person. I just think that the main thing is to have an open mind and just be ready to adapt. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the weather, guys. It's cold. And I don't even live in like a cold part of Canada. I live in Ontario. Ontario is not that cold compared to some places like Alberta or Nova Scotia. It's not that cold, but it's cold. Honestly, there are times where I would go out and I was freezing, and I did not have a job where I needed to be going out. If I had a job that I needed to be going out, I would have been crying, honestly, because it is cold. But again, it's cold, it's nothing that you cannot survive. Get you a good jacket, wear like 10 layers of clothes and you'll be fine. I really hope everything I said in this video made sense, but basically those are just things I feel like you should consider or have at the back of your mind, actually at the front of your mind, if you're considering or in the process of relocating to Canada. And I'm pretty sure this would also apply for like other countries if you're thinking of or in the process of relocating. Information is always key. Information will always put you in a position of an advantage as opposed to disadvantage. Because I hate when I go on social media and you know those people that are always like, oh, don't come to Canada, or they say Canada, UK, it's tough. Shut. Sometimes I was just like, I want to smack them upside the head. If it's so tough, why are you still there? Don't get me wrong, obviously it's not all roses, but it's not roses anywhere. Like in Nigeria too, it's probably not roses for people. So it's like, pick your struggle. You're already here. Why are you discouraging people from coming? I'm all for give people information so they know what they are like getting themselves into, as opposed to say, oh, don't come. That's just ridiculous. Because why? If it was so bad, you would be back in Nigeria. Again, there are also like a group of people that would make it look like it is rainbows and sunshine, like when you move across the country or whatever it is, which it is for some people, but not everybody. Just make sure you have like that. It's just like social media, you take everything with a grain of salt. There are people that have certain lifestyles on social media that actually is their reality, and then there are people that have certain lifestyle that is their reality once in 3 months, but they make it look like it's every day. So it's up to you as an adult or as an individual to like decipher information and take in what you can and then make your decision. I really hope this video made sense, because I really like sharing information that would be helpful to people. I hope this information or this video was somewhat helpful, and if you have any other information or tip or something that you feel like somebody should know before moving to Canada, I would love it if you add it to the comment section so that whoever is watching this video can learn one thing or two. And that is basically it for this video. As usual, if you enjoyed watching, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, so that I know you like this video, and so YouTube also knows that you enjoyed the video and they can share it to more people. Share it with somebody that you think might find it helpful, and I will see you. Oh yeah, hit the bell notification so you know when I post all the time, and I will see you in my next video.